Dani Avila will hold the fort in midfield alongside Kim Junien and Brian Fariñas. Up front, there's no Arnau Pradas, he's on the bench, so Juan Hernandez will be alongside Hugo Alba and Jan Virgili Tenas. Seydou Sai starts in goal. Lilian Deville starts at full-back. It's Paris Siré and Bajan at centre-back. Salou starts at left-back. We'll have a look and see if Le Guen drops into a back five or not in the middle. For now, we've got him playing in midfield. Well, here we are then, referee waiting for the go-ahead as we're about to kick things off at the Estadio Johan Cruyff. Other games are underway in the Youth League. When they finish, that may give us a better idea of what Barca need to qualify today. Can't forget, unlike with the men's first team, the Youth League don't play 8 group phase games, or league phase games, I should say. They only play 6. So after this, it's a trip to Borussia Dortmund, and then that's it. So if Barca win today in their penultimate game, they'll be in a great spot. If not, in the next phase. Kick off here then at the Estadio Johan Cruyff. Barca shooting from left to right in this one. And quite a heavy challenge in just the first seconds of the game. And that is going to be an early yellow card, and rightly so, I think, too. I think it was Leo Botts who went in there very forcefully indeed. It wasn't a pleasant challenge at all on Leo Saka, who's down in a heap here with quite a intense start to the game. It's flicked on here. This will give us a better look. Header from Dani Avila is a bit short. That is not a good challenge at all. Leo Botts has left his studs rather high. That's meant that when Leo Saka has gone to kick through the ball and clear it, I get the feeling his ankle's connected with the studs there. And very early on, Barca thinking about changes. Walton is the man who's gone down to warm up there. Alexander Walton does have English heritage. Eman Cospo also an option on the bench for this man there, Giuliano Belletti, who it's fair to say has come in and done a very good job with the under-19 so far. Seems to have got the principles down to a T. This will show us better. Yeah, I think he's caught on with the studs. It's not a pleasant challenge. Good to see Saka back on his feet. Mentioning Belletti there, unbeaten in the league, 10 wins in 12 games. They've drawn twice so far in the league, Barca. They do sit top of their division in Catalonia. And as mentioned, going well in the Youth League too. Win today would almost secure them, if not secure them, a spot in the next round. Barca with early possession, then Brest tucked deeply inside their own half, as you'd maybe expect, really, in these ones. Unlike the first team, who are flying, they go into the game against Barca's first team ahead of them later. That's not the case in the Youth League. In fact, we can tell you right now, Barca sit 5th in the standings. Brest, as of now, if it holds at 0-0, will go to 28th, but they came into the game in 31st. It'll be interesting to see how Barca line up today, though, in terms of who occupies that left-hand flank. You'd imagine Jan Virgili will stay wide right. It looks as though for now Kim Junien's going to remain in midfield alongside Dani Avila. Hugo Alba, of course, will spearhead the attack, the number 9 with the armband on. Already scored in 3 of the 4 Youth League games so far this season. That's a hopeful ball towards Jan Virgili. Just intrigued to see out of Juan Hernandez and Brian Fariñas, who's gone out to the wing. You'd imagine Fariñas will stay in midfield. Important start for him too today, the number 8. Scored 2 wonderful goals in a recent game against Mallorca in the league. Here is Jan Virgili, who has alternated between the right and left flank so far on the Youth League for Barca and in the league, often with Arnau Pradas. Tend to feel he works better off the left with Pradas off the right, but did score from the right-hand side against Bayern Munich in the last game here at the Estadio Johan Cruyff in this competition. Well, we're expecting possession stats to be very high for Barca. And that's a really sharp ball in behind. It's Juan Hernandez who's got there. Cutback is good too. Not going to find its target though. Yeah, Yeah, confirmation there. It is Brian Fariñas in midfield with Kim Junien. Juan Hernandez will play wide left. That was what it was to be expected, but you wonder if Belletti prioritised Jan Virgili on the left-hand side. As mentioned, has options such as Arnau Pradas on that bench. In fact, on that Barça bench is Max Bonfil, Nil Teixidor, Eman Cospo, Walter, Pedro Rodriguez, Pedro Fernandez too, Guillem Victor, brother of Pau Victor, Arnau Pradas and Marcos Pariego. Belletti's been vocal on the sidelines so far on these youth league games, often with few spectators. We can hear some of his insights. Always fascinating to see how the coach encourages these players. Speaks well, always before the game, with what he's trying to do with this team. You have to say it's been a success so far. Jan Virgili, the man they've went after all summer, has been a really good addition. Here's Juan Hernandez, tucks it off to Jan Virgili. He may well be the standout player today. Here's Xavi Espart. Ball dinks to the back post. It's going to go far over Hugo Alba. Seydou Sai gobbles things up. Didn't start the last youth league game, Seydou Sai, for Brest. Does start today. He is a presence in goals, you can see there. Head and shoulders above anyone else on the pitch by quite some distance. And his kick is going to go all the way through to his opposing number, Aron Jakobishvili. Jakobishvili, who's been a regular in the youth league for Barça so far this season. Did miss a game against Young Boys. Fariñas there trying to turn, or Kim Junien rather, I should say, trying to turn. Dani Abila's come into the team and done well, hasn't he, in front of the back four so far this season. Wasn't too much of a feature earlier on in the campaign, but man from Murcia has tucked in really well. Well, mentioned that game against Mallorca a few moments ago where Brian Fariñas scored 2 wonderful goals. I'll tell you who else scored a screamer in that game. Dani Abila. Let's talk about that in a moment, because look at this from Jan Virgili. Great skill to get away from a few men, and it comes to Kim Junien, deflected shot wide for the first corner of the game. Mentioned Jan Virgili might well be the star today, the man to look out for. Certainly becoming one to watch, isn't he, Virgili Tenas? And it fell to Kim Junien there. Good skill by the Barça winger. Clearly has confidence from Belletti. Well, Hugo Alba's got on the end of that, and the chance of the back post. Well, it's more than a half chance that Juan Hernandez was the one closest to it. I think he's questioning whether he was pulled. Under pressure from Salon at the back post. Well, that's not awfully far away. Had Seydou Sy scrambling there. Flick on from Hugo Alba. Didn't look like a dangerous situation, really. Either way, goal kick then for Brest with only 8 minutes on the clock. There is the Brest coach, Olivier Aurillac. Retired from football in 2016. He was playing for Angers. Also was a Brest player too in his time. He's worked his way up through the ranks in youth management, it's fair to say. Played for Brest between 2004 and 2007. That's going to be offside, so no danger there. As manager, though, 41 years old. Joined Angers, first of all, as assistant manager for the under-19s, then became first-team manager, then joined Brest as the under-19s assistant, took his position as under-17 manager, and in 2023, start of last season, made it as the under-19s manager. And here he is managing his side, of course, for the first time ever in the Youth League. This is an important feat for Brest, it's fair to say. Doing so well at first-team level, it's quite remarkable, really. Yeah, Youth League level, maybe doing more of what you'd expect, it's fair to say. 2 wins and 2 draws. Another corner here for Barça. which Jofre Torrents has gone up to take, actually. He's a big presence, but does have a fine left foot. And there it is, and there's the opening goal for Barça. Unmarked in the middle, Leo Saka makes it 1-0, and Barça strike first at the Estadio Johan Cruyff. He couldn't believe it himself, could he? Unmarked in the middle, and Leo Saka bullets Barça into an early lead here. Jofre Torrents, left back to left centre back, and a remarkable start for Barça at home in a game they are favourites for. Really poor defending from Brest. Sacha Abalin, who was closest to him, but that looked like a mismatch all over. The height of Seydou Sey certainly is something to be admired, but you'd have to say it is a rather small team from a Brest point of view. And that corner put in to absolute perfection in the bulleted header, leaving no chance for Seydou Sey in goal. And Barça have the opener here within the opening 10 minutes. A dream start for Belletti's side. And Leo Saka, who suffered that early blow when Leo Bots caught his ankle with his studs, gives Barça a lead. Well, really slick football here by the near side. There is goal scorer Saka. We saw some good feet from Jofre Torrents just a few months ago. How good does he look of a player? So technically able. So that every time we've seen him in the Youth League, just seems to possess a special something that not many players have. That ball slightly overhit on this occasion, not going to reach Hugo Alba. Seydou Sey comfortably gobbles it up in goal. Well, we knew Barça were favourites. Still so much to go, of course, in this game, but Brest, they haven't got out so far. You'd expect this will be the pattern of play for the foreseeable in this game. Dani Avila over to Jofre Torrents. It was his corner. It was swung into Leo Saka, unmarked in the middle. And if he was marked, it wasn't tightly enough. Xavi Espart. Landry Faré. Ooh, ball nearly made its way all the way through. Well, from a Brest point of view, haven't been poor defensively so far this season. Have been on the end of a few heavy defeats, but the worry for them would probably be that, as we'll get some treatment here for a head injury, which we hope is nothing serious. The worry for Brest would be is that whilst they have been relatively strong defensively at times, they haven't scored an awful amount of goals. They've scored 1 goal in each of their 4 Youth League games so far. They were defeated 4-1 to Sturm Graz on match week 1, then 5-1 to Salzburg. Since then, a 1-1 draw with Leverkusen and a 1-1 draw with Sparta Prague. And when you look at the league, they currently sit 4th in Group C of the French Under-19 Championship. 5 wins, 4 draws, and 3 losses. That's 11 points off first place. They're actually closer to the relegation spots than they are to first. Again, though, haven't scored an awful amount of goals in any of those games either, so they're not a side who are full of goals this season. Their top scorer has 3 goals. Géraud, who is starting today, the number 10, with the captain's armband on, who I'm not sure has touched the ball yet, in all truth. That was an over-ambitious pass there, which hasn't reached its intended target. It's fair to say Belletti will be really pleased with what he's seen so far, though, won't he? He said before the game, this competition has the best teams in Europe. We don't take anyone for granted. Brest are strong defensively. We'll stick to our principles and play our way. That's what Barça have done so far. Jan Virgili also spoke before the game. He's the man there, trying to get past his marker. Said it's an honour to have Belletti as his manager, that he's really helping this team. Loose ball there from Landry Faré. That's not a good challenge from Leo Saka at all. And he received a hard blow in the first minute when he's just dished one out there. Not a clever challenge there on Ibrahima Kanté, who has scored 2 goals in the Youth League so far already for Brest this season, so he will be one to watch. So that's not a good challenge at all from Saka. He may be able to consider himself fortunate too. Goes in with his studs up. Argentinian heritage. That's left Ibrahima Kanté in an absolute heap. That's not a pleasant challenge at all. And well, you can see the effect it's had on the Brest winger there, who's slowly gaining his feet again. He had a feeling when the ball from Landry Farré was played that he was going to come in late, didn't you? And that's the way it was. Here's another look at the goal then. Ball in from Jofre Torrents. Always looked as though it was going to end up in a goal for Barca. It really did. Very, very, very poor from a Brest point of view defensively. Well built out from the back again from Barca. Fariñas now switches it over to Xavi Espart. Something Belletti has done well is he's been able to mix up players whilst keeping the fundamentals pretty much the same. Fariñas comes in today. Dani Avila's been a really important man at the heart of the midfield. That's come really as Pedro Soma, who started the first Youth League games, has gone up to the Barça Athletic squad under Albert Sanchez. Here's Juan Hernandez. Overlap is on. Doesn't use it, goes himself. Juan Hernandez. Oh, and it was close to Kim Jong-un. Jan Virgili. And you can hear Fariñas screaming. He thought he had it. Juan Hernandez knows it too. There is Jan Virgili Tenas, who eventually was the man with a shot that was dragged wide of the post. Said before the game that we're in good form. We're playing with Barca's DNA. There are no easy rivals. We've had little time to prepare, but we haven't lost a game so far this season, so we're confident. That's been shown so far. Made a really good adaptation too, Virgili Tenas. Scored 2 goals on match week 1, on his debut actually for Barca. Since then, hasn't found the net too many times. Did score here against Bayern Munich in the Youth League. He said he's adapted really well and that he wasn't expecting to adapt so well to life at Barcelona. But it's been a very comfortable opening 17 minutes here for Barca. Got the feeling going into the game that it may well be their most comfortable game of the group. They face Borussia Dortmund away from home next, who may provide more fierce opposition. Currently sit 12th in the table to Dortmund, with 2 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat in their 4 games, of course. We'll have to wait and see how they get on this match week. But having said that, result could be meaningless, as Barca may well have already secured themselves a spot in the next round. Many of you may be wondering how the phase works for the under-19s. It is slightly different to how the men's teams work and the first teams work. In a league table of 36 teams, the first 22 will make it through to a round of 32. If you finish within the first 6 teams, then you'll play an opponent between the 18th spot and the 17th spot and the 22nd spot, I should say. So one of the lower ranked sides. That's the advantage you get from finishing in the first 6. The rest of the teams will compete between themselves and also between the league winners of the domestic leagues, who also join up in the round of 32. Like Real Betis from Spain will be the representative. So it's complex to get your head around, but lovely from Jan Virgili Tenas. Gets away from his man brilliantly. Fariñas wide. Didn't take a deflection either. Look at this again from Jan Virgili Tenas. He's the man, really. And Barca keep wanting to get the ball to. On that occasion is cut back. Doesn't find its intended target. Ball switched out here then as Brest to try and embark on Barca territory. The offside flag is up. Well, you can see that pocket of Brest fans there trying to encourage their young team here. It's worth noting, defeat here for Brest would mean they won't make it through to the next round. Privileged to be here, I suppose they'll say. Different mindset though, really, from what the first team are going through right now. They are well up there. Here's Xavi Espart. Fariñas. Nearly reached Virgili Tenat, who was in. Well, objective for Barca today may well be to keep a clean sheet. They haven't done that in the Youth League so far. This could be the day. They'll have to watch themselves if they are to achieve that feat. There's Leo Saka. Dani Avila. Switch is impressive to Juan Hernandez. Jofre Torrents there. Cut out by a fine challenge by Ibrahim Kante. We'll see how involved he is today, Kante. Jofre Torrents, so I'm not sure I knew he could lose the ball, does lose the ball there. Could be a game of patience for Barca. They'll have to be really diligent. Landry. Oh, it's fair to say, well, usually a fullback, Landry Faré, tucked in ever so well at centre-back, hasn't he? Good skill on that occasion this time, though. Stashabil. There's a smart 1-2 here. Juan Hernandez thought he'd won the ball back for Barca. Free kick is going to be given on that occasion. Then Leo Bots fouled by Landry Faré. Don't forget the final of this competition will be played on April the 28th. It's the 11th edition of this tournament, the Lennart Johansson Trophy. Olympiacos are the current holders. Barca have won it on 2 separate occasions in the past. Beat Benfica 3-0 in 2014, beat Chelsea 3-0 in 2018. To have fine history in this competition. Still a long way to go. Feels like this group could embark on something special. Flag is going to go up there, looked offside in all truth. Good line held from Barca. Lilian Deville trying to get him behind. Yeah, just off. Went a tad too early. Barca haven't really been able to test Stadium size so far. Apart from the goal, there are some of those fans who, as I say, I'm sure will be making it to Montjuic later. Not a bad way to spend your afternoon beforehand. That will be a foul, though. Hugo Alba's been caught there. You wonder whether that'll be a booking too. I think it was Paris Iri. Yeah, it was. You caught Hugo Alba. Hugo Alba, team's top scorer this season. 7 goals he's scored in all competitions. Does have a special potency in front of goal. One of those number 9s who you just feel has a goal in him every game. There is Belletti. I think he'll be happy with how things are working so far. He's reiterated in his pre-match notes that as a coaching staff, they always want to make sure that the players are as concentrated as possible. They try to make every day just as intense as the other. That's not dependent on whether they've been defeated or whether they've won in the previous game. Good stick ball as Juan Hernandez. Kim Junyen. Landry. Patient build-up from Barca because Brest have got several players behind the ball. It'll be fascinating to see the possession stats in this one. It's been so heavily in Barca's favour. All of the play up until this point. Leo Saka's goal is what separates the two sides. Well, for now, it will condemn Brest. Well, we're back there by Saka. Kim Junyen gets away from his man, looks up, options left and right. One of them is Virgili Tenas, couldn't get it back to Kim Junyen. Don't think Hugo Alba was happy about that. He thought he was in on the left-hand side. Already had several games already, of course, today in the Youth League. Victories for AC Milan, Atletico Madrid, Salzburg, Sporting, Atalanta and Inter. Bayern Munich currently trailing to Paris Saint-Germain. Manchester City are beating Feyenoord. Here it's 1-0 too. That's a sloppy giveaway from Kim Junyen though. And a chance here for Ibrahima Kanté to come forward. Runs down an alleyway where there wasn't really much space for him though. He's trying to keep hold of the ball here too. I don't think all the ball was out. I think I'd have to agree with the referee on that one. Play on. Not the greatest pass back. That look at the stride of Seydou. Comes out of the goal and gobbles that one up. Better from Brest though. Good from Kanté. We said he's their most exciting player. That's the way it's proven to be so far. This time it's Brian Fariñas who's gone up high. That's allowed Juan Hernandez to drop in just a little bit. Joffre Torrents will do well to win that. He does so. And Barca have won themselves a throw-in. 26 minutes of dominance for Juliano Belletti's Blaugrana. But they'll want the second goal, it's fair to say. Won't want to make things easy for Brest. Here is Dani Avila. Good switch to Juan Hernandez. Comes inside. Sets up Joffre Torrents. Comes over now to Xavi Espart. Here's Jan Virgili Tenas. Can he take on his man? That's what he'll want to do. He does. Virgili Tenas cleared away. And surprise, surprise, possession back in Barca's quarters. Goal scorer Leonardo Saka on the ball then. Dani Avila has to be careful there. In the end, gets away with it. Well, important win for Barca on Saturday. They beat San Francisco by 2-0. It was Jan Virgili and Hugo Alba who got the goals on that occasion. That's brilliant from Espart. Brilliant football from Barca, and in the end, gobbled up by Seydou in goal when he hoofs it long. Would have been a lovely goal had that been finished off. Lovely one interchange. Fariñas. Barca build up again. It's interesting, Jan Virgili on penalty duties on the weekend, not Hugo Alba, who did score in the second half. Landry. Saka. It's been a different sort of game than the other Youth League fixtures, you have to say so far. That's mainly due to the way Brest have set up. Haven't been as many chances, not as end-to-end. Other games have been rather entertaining. Good pressure from Barca here, though, as they attempt to win things back high up the pitch. Well, very impressive last time they played here against Bayern Munich, of course. came from behind to beat Red Star more recently away from home. This one will be a test of patience and concentration, though. Can they tire Brest out? Here's a chance as Avila tries to skip forward. He's pulled down for a free kick. This was a chance earlier. Kim Junyen and Xavi Espart, that is ever so close to finding its way through. Good defending in the end from Le Guen, who we thought might tuck in. Here come Barça again. Joffre Torrents. Inside to Kim Junyen. Kim. Avila. Again linking up with Xavi Espart down on this right-hand side. Virgili Tenas attempted to come inside, doesn't this time. Saka. Not enough disguise on that pass from Dani Avila straight to... Well, that's a clear foul, you'd have to say, from Kante on Avila, who had made amends for his error, won it back for his team, and was then fouled. But Ibrahim Kante, that is a foul apparently, according to the Finnish official. Joffre Torrents gives a big bump in the back to Kante. Belletti said that his players feel the winning mentality that this club has. He says with the experience he has of having played here, he tries to give some of that advice onto the players. He says it's a club that carries a big responsibility with it. You have to say it feels like mindset-wise, it's got it to a T so far with this squad. That's a loose ball, a risky ball, which has worked out well for Brest. Barça have got to be careful not to drop too deep out of possession. Good skill there, though. Nothing in that. Farret gives Box a bump, and Barça win the ball back. But just touching on that from Belletti, I have to say, from what we've seen so far from the under-19s, it seems as though his principles of the same intensity every day, of making these players aware of where they are, helping them progress to go on to Barça Athletic, to go on to the first team, to maintain that winning mentality and know what it is to play at Barça. You'd have to say he's got that spot on. Players have really bought into his ideas so far. Football's been good. The results have been good too. Avila. Saka. Possession stats must be in the 80s for Barça. They haven't stopped having it in these sorts of areas. Challenge is really breaking into the final third. Can't forget Barça's only goal. It's come from a corner, so that's brilliant from Virgili Tenas, who breaks the seal a little bit and brilliantly left and brilliantly saved by C in goal. Still a chance for Barça. Kim Junyen denied. Here's Juan Hernandez. Hernandez, again it's C who denies him. It's kept Barça at bay there, and he's kept his team in the game, Seydou C. It really should have been 2-0, just as the game was in a lull. Brilliant from Virgili Tenas. Wonderfully left by Hugo Alba. Could Kim Junyen get that more in the corner? I think he does as well as he can. And on the rebound, to deny Juan Hernandez too. Well, two brilliant stops from the goalkeeper. Massive credit where it's due to Seydou C. Keeps Barça at bay. Should have been the second of the game. We were just saying the importance of that. How the only goal of this one came from a corner. Here's Kim. Joffre Torrents was in there. Brilliant from Virgili Tenas. You can see why he's getting starts. Looks a really promising talent. Here is again Virgili, able to come off either flank, playing with a confidence well beyond his years. Juan Hernandez. Saka. Torrent screaming for the ball. He just wants it every time he can. Fariñas. Love to see how many times Avila and Esparta pass to each other. Saka. Kim. Nothing giving for Brest so far, but you'd have to say they'll probably be content it's just 1-0. They'll try and keep things as tight as possible and see if they can break down the other end at some point in the game. That's going to be a Brest ball too, because it was touched off of Jan Virgili. Here are those stops then. Not sure which one was better really. The first one from Kim Jong-un or this one from Juan Hernandez. They're both really good. Gets down ever so quickly. Not easy at all. That's a poor giveaway though to Juan Hernandez, and Barca could pounce here. Brest caught with less players at the back, and here is Juan Hernandez. How good has Seydou Sy been in goal? Making some absolutely wonderful stops here. And he's denying Barca their second goal. Single-handedly keeping Brest in this one. Well, he's 199 metres from Senegal. 2 metres tall. This is his third fixture in the youth league. That might be a goal for Barca though. It's Hugo Alba. Fariñas. Ball in then from Kim Jong-un. It falls to the back post and well defended. Another corner. Barca have really starting to build the pressure now. Remarkably, haven't scored their second. You have to say, 3 wonderful stops from the Senegalese international. Who interestingly started both of Brest's first games in the competition. And that's so interesting because you conceded 9 goals in that process. 4 to Sturm Graz, 5 to Salzburg. He's been brilliant today. Here's Juan Hernandez, the man who's been denied twice by Seydou Sy. I don't think he can quite believe that he hasn't scored yet. I think this is going to be another corner, so another chance for Barca to get the ball in the box. They have threatened from these so far. Of course, this is where the opening goal of the game came from, the other side, from a ball in from Geoffrey Torrent. This time it's Jan Virgili. Jan Virgili's cross in, doesn't beat the first man, and Brest, if they're smart, can counter-attack. Well defended. And a chance again for Virgili Tenas to get the ball back in the box. It'll be another corner though. We'd have to see. Seydou Sy at 2 metres tall may well be the tallest player in the youth league. Just wonder if he should come out and pluck some of these corners that come into the box. He's quite literally head and shoulders above everyone else. Jan Virgili. Oh, and it nearly fell again for Saka at the back post. I just thought he had a free header again there. The Argentinian and Dani Avila may have scored a screamer. Again, actually, from a resulting corner against Mallorca this time. It's wayward. Well, game was in a bit of a lull, wasn't it? Up until the last 5 minutes or so. Hadn't had that many actions. Had some brilliant stops by the Senegalese international in goal. 1 to deny Kim Jong-un, 2 to deny Juan Hernandez, and somehow Barca have been halted at 1-0. Makes Brest's position in the game probably even more satisfactory for them. They'll be more than content to go in at 1-0, you'd have to say, with how things have gone up until now. They've barely had the ball, is what's fascinating. So happy to have a remarkably small amount of it. Brilliant ball that, and Jan Virgili watched it ever so well, brought it Brought it down well too, and in the end cleared. Not to great effect though. They're going to have another go at that at Brest. Looked like a foul from Landry. I'm not sure there was much need for it either. They're trying to put pressure on the ball as Brest finally have it. And as soon as they have it, they give it away. Here is Kim Junyen. Fariñas is an option. You wonder whether he should have cut the ball through there. Often those are Barca's best chances to catch Brest off guards when they have committed players forward. Because when it's like this, it's just a white wall. Barca are going to have to do it all again. They're going to have to recycle. Imagine Belletti will be urging his team to do the same, and that long ball isn't going to reach its intended target. It's not bad football. Landry though, long-legged, clears it away. 5 minutes to go until the interval. You'd imagine both managers will be pleased in very different ways. Belletti, of course, will be happy that his team are leading. Be happy that they've dominated the game. I suppose we'll be slightly concerned at maybe the pattern of a lot of the play. A lot of it is all in front of Brest, and he'll be frustrated they haven't scored the second goal so far, Barca. Olivier Aouillac, I think will be worried that his team have barely had the ball in a football match, but they'll be happy that it's 1-0 that they've kept Barca at bay, and that's exactly what they'll be looking for. Corners like that. And you can hear the cheers from their supporters. They're just happy to have the ball down that end of the pitch. We mentioned they didn't look too imposing physically. Compare that to a Monaco who, I mean, the height difference was incredible on match week 1. Although you would say Le Guen, he is a presence. I don't know where he was for the goal. Defended Barca's goal horribly, but now have a chance of their own. Oh, and I'll tell you what, he wasn't too far away there, Paddy CD. Barca trying to break quickly now though. Fariñas, Jan Virgili, this is where they want it, Barca. Virgili through one, and it's wide. Oh, he's just one of those special players, isn't he? Your eyes light up when he gets the ball. Little dink through the legs of his marker and shot dragged wide. Always a tough angle to get that right because he's shooting. You're almost aiming it and starting the shot wide of that post. Difficult one to get right. This was so smart though. Don't think that Salon has enjoyed his afternoon so far at left back. And Vigili's had him all day. Lovely dusk emerging here on the Estadio Johan Cruyff as sunset nears in Catalonia. Pink skies that we've seen in recent weeks starting to emerge. Saka. Time and space on the ball. These two, Saka and Landry, have had absolutely no pressure on the ball all day today. Could spend as long as they want on it. Brest simply not interested in pressurising when Barca have the ball in their own half. It's well played there, Fariñas. Looking for options. Well, Brian Fariñas, if you haven't seen it, scored a wonderful free kick against Mallorca just a few weekends ago. It was an absolute corker. He's got a brilliant left-footed goal in the first half too in that one. Oh, good play that from Barca. Kim Junyen, they found a pocket of space. Hugo Alba, Kim. Oh, goodness me. That is inches away from Barca's second. Brilliant 1-2 with Hugo Alba. I thought for the world that was in. This time, no chance for Seydou Sai. Oh. Inches wide of that far post. Would have been a marvellous goal. He's a player who will have plenty to prove, Kim Junyen. Feels like he could be one to push up to Barca Athletic soon, in all truth. Featured in the Joan Gamper trophy for the first team. this August against Monaco, interestingly enough. Does tend to stand out in these fixtures. Is there one last burst then for Barca at the end of this half? Xavi Espart. Avila. Saka. Kim. Brian Fariñas. Cross into the back post, not really aimed towards anyone, and Seydou Sy gobbles it up. Fascinating really about Sy when he's been Brest's best player today. That's one of his saves earlier to deny Kim Jong-yen. This is his second to deny Juan Hernandez. That's his third as well. Wonderful passage of stops there from the Senegalese. Oh, lovely. Is that going to be a booking? No, referee keeps his card in his pocket. As I mentioned, he started the first 2 games in which Brest conceded a total of 9 goals. In the next 2, they've drawn 1-1. He didn't feature in any of those games. Judging from what we've seen today, that probably reflects quite harshly on him then. Get the impression he's not exactly at fault. Leo Saka already scored his head, tried one speculatively from 40 yards out. 2 additional minutes have been added on at the end of this half. Of which we've played 45 seconds. It's hammered long. Senegalese international. Good half for Barca, all things considered. Feels as though they've grown into the half. And that is a wonderful reverse ball to Kim Jong-yen, who has options, and the cutback was the right idea as Hugo Alba just peeled off rather than gone for the back post. Not reached its intended target though. Landry Fare. Dani Avila. 30 seconds remaining for Barca to probe. Avila. Joffre Torrent hasn't been as involved as he often is. You'd expect more from Barca in the second half, certainly with the score poised at 1-0 too. Very perfectly balanced for what could happen in the second 45 minutes. Let's see if Brest come out any more or not. Feels right now as if they're just waiting to concede the second. Any breakaway isn't coming to anything, and there is the half-time whistle. Very comfortable opening 45 minutes for Barca, where only Seydou Sy has been between a very dominant scoreline. It is 1-0 at the break, thanks to Leonard Saka's 10th minute header from a Joffre Torrent's corner. That man there, the Senegalese international, 2 meters tall, has stopped everything Barca have thrown at him since. No changes for either side, I don't think, at the interval. We'll have a confirmation of that shortly. For Barca, certainly unchanged. Do have strong players on the bench who haven't been used today. We can't forget Barca did play late on Saturday night, so this is quite a quick turnaround for them. Haven't had long to prepare. Jan Virgili did speak about that in his pre-match notes. This will be a test, not only for the opposition and for it being a youth league game, but also because of the tight turnaround. And here we are, back underway at the Estadio Johan Cruyff. Barca now shooting from right to left in this second half as they go in search of their second goal, and the second goal that you'd think would be definitive in this one. Saka, the man who's got the goal, plays it's the man who assisted him for that goal, Joffre Torrent. This, what you're seeing here, has been the pattern of play for all 45 minutes so far. Let's see if anything changes in the second half. Do Brest risk a little bit? Do they come out? Oh, risky touch, and Juan Hernandez knows that he was in. Oh, Saka must be careful there. But long sleeve on for the second half. Well, this is the best Brest have created all game long, and here they come. Chance to the back post. Steered away from Joffre Torrent. Well, make no mistake about it, that's the closest Brest have come. haven't formed an attack or anything similar to an attack in the 45 minutes. That's the most they've created. Perhaps an early warning sign then as to what may come. Ibrahim Kante there, frustrated, has scored 2 goals in the Youth League so far this season. Frustrated that one didn't come through to him. Avila. Fare. Kim Junien read that one really well, recovered it for Barca. Just taking a glance at the table right now. Win would secure Barca a place in the first 22 for sure. The first 6 is another matter, however. That won't be confirmed yet. Here's Juan Hernandez, he's in. He's pulled back very cynically. That's going to be a booking for Lilian Deville. Make no mistake about that. Smart foul, they'd have to say, from the fullback. Wasn't letting his counterpart get away from him there. And as I say, picks up a responsible yellow card, I'd say, because Juan Hernandez was in there. Well, did I not mention the free kick that Brian Fariñas scored against Mallorca recently? It was an absolute perler from a much different angle than this, but no doubt as to why he has taken the ball. Having said that, look at who he's up against in goal. He's been in inspired form, Seydou Sy. Almost covers the whole goal, but can Fariñas beat him? Jofre Torrents is there with him. I'd imagine this will be Brian Fariñas. Torrents drops it. Fariñas strikes it. Deflection. That's a build again. Torrents. Oh, Virgili screaming for the ball. He's not been given it. Does now, but he's got players surrounded him. Wanted it way earlier. He's telling his teammates. Interesting the change of the angle there that Barca elected to go for. I thought Torrents was just going to leave the ball. Oh, such a smart turn that from Kim Junien. Good ball to Jan Virgili too. Ball in isn't bad either. Jofre. Landry. Barca certainly built in the last 10-15 minutes of that first half. Let's see if they can continue that momentum into the second. You feel the message from Belletti will be, get that second goal. Don't allow Brest a sniff back in this one. One of those games, as I said, where for a young side, focus, mentality, character will be important. The persistence it takes to consistently go out a low block like this one is something to be admired. There's a good switch over to the right-hand side where Virgili Tenas can control the ball. He switches it straight back to where it came from. Good ball too between the lines. This will fall for Fariñas. Just a little too wide for Juan Hernandez, who stands up his player, pulls it back to Fariñas. Here's Brian Fariñas onto his left foot. Easy for Seydou Sy. Comes out, gobbles it up, no mistake at all. Hoofs it long too, not a bad clearance. It's towards Kante, who fights up there, but he's all on his own. You can see the frustration. He's got no one with him. Arms waved out in frustration. Brest have got nothing going for them up front. It's a tireless job for those forwards. They've had absolutely none of the ball. When usually you'd have at least one half chance, they've had nothing. Although it's one of those games where you'd say, if it remains 1-0, you can't imagine it will stay that way. There will be a moment, or at least a chance, even from a set piece, where Brest gets something. That's why Barca need the second goal. Speaking of set pieces, that was a cynical foul from Fariñas. I'm not sure what they've done from the free kick there, though, Brest, giving it straight away. I was even going to speculate as to whether, even though the foul was near their own half, whether they should have just swung into the box. In the end, they've clipped it across their own back four and straight to Barca. Here's Juan Hernandez, who will be perplexed as to how he didn't score in the first half. Denied by the goalkeeper on 2 occasions. Well, if they play that quick, then Salon was in. Will be a foul from Juan. Retreats position. There are some of those players warming up then. You can see Marcos Pariego, you can see Arnau Pradas going through their paces. Wonder how long it'll be before we see Arnau Pradas. He's been the one to watch for me really so far in the Youth League. He's lit up every game he's played in. Scored out of nowhere to equalise for Barca against Red Star Belgrade in that second half. And Vigili. Espart. Avila. Brilliant ball to Xavi Espart. Big chance for Barca. Pullback wasn't adequate. Corner for Barca. Could have been oh so much more. Brest with some players warming up there. Not a bad turnout in all fairness. Although you will say for 26th of November, wherever you're watching, it's probably nicer here in Barcelona, weather withstanding. Jan Virgili Tenas with the corner. The header, brilliantly saved. The rebound is in. Juan Hernandez, who was denied twice by Seydou in the first half, is not denied a third time. He pokes over the goal line and gives Barca the all-important second goal here. The Senegalese international has done everything he can to stop Barca getting their second, but he simply cannot deny Juan Hernandez from point-blank range. Looked as though it was going to be a repeat of Barca's first goal. Virgili Tenas with the cross. Again, it was Leo Saka with the header. Brilliantly saved by C. But on the rebound, Juan Hernandez prods it over the goal line. The glove from the goalkeeper, nearly 2 meters tall, not enough to keep it out. And that man has deserved his goal, it's fair to say. Been really exciting for Barca from the left-hand side, given the start today at left wing. And he may well have just scored the all-important goal. Well, we said the aim for Barca was to get the second goal in the second half. They've done it within 10 minutes of the restart. Not bad going at all. Hit a scream of Virgili Tenas. Frustrated isn't he on the end of that one. Changes coming up for Barca though, very shortly, which we'll tell you about in just a moment. 2 changes down there. Far offside there. Have a look. I make it that Eman Cospa was one of those who was going to come on. Confirmation of the other change for you in just a moment. There is Cospa warming up. You wonder whether that'll be for Leo Saka, goal scorer of the Barca opener, very nearly goal scorer of the second too. Just I say that because he's on a yellow card, of course, Leo Saka. Cospa could be brought on. You wonder how Brest react to this, because they've had absolutely nothing going forward today. And that is the second sucker punch goal, really, that Barca have deserved. But that now puts the French side in a really sticky spot. Saka. Avila. Brian. Juan. Landry. all the way through to the goalkeeper. Unexpected, really, that Barca will ring the changes now. They've got what they wanted at the start of the second half. The all-important goal. Reminder for you, Leo Saka got the opener in the 10th minute, just 2 minutes ago. Juan Hernandez has prodded over the line to get the second. I'll tell you what is intriguing, that both goals have come from corners for Barca. Maybe something you didn't expect. Here are the two changes then. Two defenders actually going to be coming on here for Barca, as Alexander Walton is also going to come on. So Jofre Torrent, who was out with an ACL injury all of last year, returned brilliantly this year. Gets some rest as Eman Gosport enters the field, and there is Leonardo Saka as expected. Scorer of Barca's opener also leaves the field in place of Alexander Walton. Let's see who goes left back, who goes centre back as expected. Walton will go left back. Saka goes off, and Gosport will go to centre back. Two changes also coming up for Brest then. Been an absolutely tireless job for those midfielders today. They've had absolutely none of the ball. A mix at the pack here. Adam Ikiosen is on, as Deville is off. I think that graphic on your screen is wrong, because Iri is already on the pitch. There's another change too, as Gerard is also off the field to be replaced by Ils Benalour. So it's Benalour and Ikiosen who've come on for Lilian Deville, who is on a booking, and also for Noah Gerard. So two changes for either side then here as we approach the hour mark in this one. Fariñas with space to run into here, burst through midfield for Barca. Brian Fariñas might go all the way. Fariñas felt a bump. It's going to be a foul, early foul from Gosport. Walton, I should say, rather. Here's that run from Fariñas. I think just here, that little push there. In fact, I can tell you, Deville hasn't gone off, so graphics have got that all wrong. I'll have a confirmation of you. Two changes. I thought it was Abalan who maybe gone off in midfield. In fact, it was. Abalan went off in midfield. So Abalan and Gerard have been substituted for Brest. Two changes in midfield for them. Two changes in defence for Barca. Fariñas. Good run from Walton. He's fouled too. Walton's ball in, hacked clear for a throw-in. I've spoken about the patience of mental resilience and all of that so far today. Barca have their second goal, they have their cushion. They can now slowly relax into this one. I feel it'll be a different last half an hour. Brilliant that from Walton. Cushion to control the ball really well. Wishful thinking that really from Fariñas to catch out any goalkeeper from there, but never mind one who's nearly 2 meters tall. Good skill that from the substitute. Some space finally then for Brest to build up from the back here. Salot has options. One of the substitutes here. He comes inside and he's been fouled. He has been fouled. Kim Junyen in the end it was who bundled over Ikiosen. And so, well, a chance now then for Brest to get the ball in the box. A goal here would certainly shake things up. And it will be the substitute Ikiosen who's poised over the ball. Well, Yakubishvili adamant there of where he wants his players to be. We spoke about also the fact that Barca haven't kept a clean sheet in the Youth League yet. Is today the day? They'll have to do some defending here. And they haven't had to do much at all today, so a challenge for Barca. Swung in, and a good chance at the near post too. And it's going to go out for a goal kick. Good chance, really. Oh, he could do better there. He could do so much better, Le Guen. He knows it. He is a big presence, the biggest on the outfield players. Got there ahead of him and Kospot, who was no match for him in the air. Couldn't steer his header goalwards. Wonder if it's almost bounced off his shoulder in the end and pinged over the crossbar. Good chance either way for Brest, that from a set piece. That was always going to be their best route to goal. Good skill, good layoff by Hugo Alba. Fariñas, you wonder whether he could have slipped in. Kim Jun-Yet there, he does now. Kim, Fariñas, Juan Hernandez, good skill. Kim Jun-Yet. Juan Hernandez made a good run in behind, wasn't found. Landry. Kospot. Good skill from Juan Hernandez. Told to get to his feet though by the referee. No foul giving on that occasion. I think the flag's up for offside. There it is. Xavi Espart got there first, pelted the ball against his marker. No issues with Barca. You wonder if Brian Fariñas has been the man most on the ball today, always picking it up in these pockets. And I think what you're seeing now is what I hinted at may happen after this second goal. Tempo of the game just dropped a few ounces. Kim. Dani. Hugo Alba. Who is the number 9 in against a team who have played so deep. Has been starved a little bit of touches. You can see the way he's come deep there. In a possession-based exercise for Barca. Half pitch rondo. Brian. Back to Dani Avila. Just constant possession for Barca. I'd make a case that possession could be in the 90s for this one. Kim, good 1-2. Kim Jun-Yet couldn't get it back from Xavi Espart. Look how high advanced in the central Espart is. Tells you everything you need to know. Not sure why Ikusen didn't start, because he's been sharp off the bench. Shown some promise for Brest, who are coming forward here. The shot from the near post is dragged wide though from Leo Bots. It's Brest's first attempt of the game, I make that. Dragged well wide in the end, really. Jakobishvili scrambled, but was always sure it would drag wide. I wonder if some more changes are going to be conjured up here, or in fact, maybe a false change, because Dani Avila is down in a heap on the floor. Could just be cramp, judging by the fact that Jan Virgili is stretching him out there. Wonder what Benetti's thinking there. Not sure what Olivier Aurillac could possibly be thinking. Nothing's gone well for his team today. You'd have to say 2-0 is what you take, really, if you haven't even tried to attack in the game. Brest have really struggled, and I can tell you now we're down to 32nd place in the table. And we're going to see 2 more changes for Barca. One of them will be Pedro Rodriguez, not the legend. And the other will be Arnau Prada. So 2 changes coming up here for Barca. Pedro Rodriguez, you're almost certain, would come on in midfield for Dani Avila. Interested to see who Arnau Pradas comes on for. Perhaps Jan Virgili to give him some much-needed rest. Can't forget Barca didn't play long ago, so understandable that maybe there are some players in need of a break. Just 72 hours ago they played. Dani Avila back on the pitch for Barca and into his role in midfield here on the ball. As he said, wonder if he'll be one of the ones brought off in just a moment. Jan Virgili, options, one of them was Kim Junyen, couldn't get it through to him. Well seen out. Seydou C, I think, just happy to punt it clear. Let's see then, changes-wise, what Barca go for. It's Arnau Pradas and Pedro Rodriguez who are going to come on. One of them will be Juan Hernandez, in fact, who goes off at Arnau Pradas, so probably not what Brest want to see. They're now going to have two natural wingers running at them for the last half of this second half. Last quarter of the game. Brest are also going to make a change. Arsena Sambou is going to come on. Sambou has scored in the Youth League so far. So and Pradas has also come on. So Dani Avila and Juan Hernandez are off for Pedro Rodriguez and Arnau Pradas. Two more changes for Barca. Attacking changes, you'd have to say. Let's see who goes in to that heart of midfield. It looks like it's going to be Pedro Rodriguez, actually. It's going to go into the heart of midfield where Dani Avila was playing. Sambou is on for Leo Bots up front then for Brest. And Sambou did score in their most recent Youth League game against Sparta Prague, so it makes you question why he wasn't starting too, but he is on now then. Not sure how many chances Brest will be able to conjure up in these final 22 minutes. That's a good turn from Pedro Rodriguez off the bench, who has gone into that number 6 deep-lying playmaker role. Arnau Pradas, here he goes again. Straight into action. Immediately shows what he's all about. Maybe can be guilty of that, overdoing it. Tried to take on his man a few too many times rather than passing the ball. Barca pressing very high here and leaving Brest with little to no room to manoeuvre. Kanté didn't need any room, brilliantly deals with that. Sharp play from Jan Virgili, really good tracking back from the right winger. Intriguing also that Virgili Tenas has stayed on the right-hand side. And Arnau Pradas, for now, has stayed on the left when he's come on. We'll see if that changes shortly. I'd say 3 subs who've gone for Brest have changed things. Not dramatically for their team, they just look like they've had a little more presence, a little more promise in attack. Otherwise, I said that was Idiko Osuen who gave that ball away on the break. Landry. Kim Junyen over to Brian Fariñas. Arnau Pradas in the orange boots on this left-hand side. Pedro. Still yet to see Pedro Fernandez, of course. Dro, as he's known as here. Xavier Spart's ball in is good. Hugo Alba was waiting and he knows it, puts his hands to his mouth. Team's top scorer in all competitions so far this season, has 3 goals in the Youth League to his name too. As does Arnau Pradas, as does Oscar Gistau, who featured against Nastic de Tarragona on Sunday night for Albert Sanchez and Barça Athletic. Jan Virgili's corner. Barça have been strong from set pieces so far, and they could be in again here. Initial contact won by Brian Fariñas and the header from Hugo Alba. Goal bound but comfortable. This time for Seydou Sai, who's made plenty of uncomfortable saves already today. Alex, onside to me, it is onside. Oh, and Brest can't make anything of it. I mean, they've struggled even to just knit a few passes together. Certainly won't now be making it to the next round of the competition. They won't remain in the top 22 teams. Currently, as we speak, in 22nd, are Real Madrid on 6 points. So even if Brest won their final game against PSV on match week 6, they'd only make it to 5 points. So they won't be in the final 22. We can tell you is that Barca certainly will, and of course they also want to be amongst the top 6. That'll give them, in theory, a more favourable draw in the round of 32. Here they break away again, though. Arnau Pradas. Ball in behind, I think was aimed for Walton. It carried too far, and then he found Fariñas. Le Guen came in and dealt with the danger. Candet now. Good switch. Ball into the box then. It's easily cleared from Eman Cospo. As Barca rebuilt again. 4 changes have been made from Benetti. Wonder who the 5th will be. Could be a Pedro Fernandez cameo. Of course, as we told you earlier, there is a new man on the Barca bench as well today. Nil Teixidor plays in the Juvenil B side, so doesn't predominantly play in Benetti's group. Right fullback brought in today, born in 2008, can you believe it? 16 years old. Very intelligent player. Landry, overhit. Difficult ball to get right, certainly weight-wise, and in the end it travels all the way through to the goalkeeper. Pressure there from Walton. Fair to say the tempo of the game has dropped since Barca's second goal, as you may be expected. I suppose the only thing that was really keeping this game alive was the threat of the Brest equaliser, even though the threat has been close to non-existent. But at 1-0, you never know. At 2-0, there's more of a cushion for Barca. Here's Le Guen, though. Steps out well. Gives the ball away, though. Poorly so, too, you'd have to say. Well, Barca have done well in their league so far, too, domestically. On Saturday, they have the derby, the Catalan derby against Espanyol. That'll be a 3, you'd have to say, because both of those two sides are currently fighting out for top spot. Barca currently with 10 wins and 2 draws in their 12 games. Espanyol have got 9 wins, 1 draw and 2 defeats in their 12 games. So, thriller at the top of the table for all of you to tune into on Saturday. That's 11:30 a.m. local time kickoff, live and on Barca 1. Good switch this to Irico Soena, giving it away again for Brest. I think with 15 minutes to go, all things considered, if you analyse the situation the Barca 9 teams are in right now, you have to say things are going pretty well for Benetti. Top of the league, unbeaten. Unbeaten here at home. Did lose against Monaco match week 1, but in a good position in the next round. Here is a chance, though, for Arnau Pradas. Deflection. He was unselfish, Arnau Pradas. I wonder whether he would have gone alone there. Certainly couldn't have blamed him if he did. Kim Junet sticks him through. I think there's a chance for a shot there. Unselfishly so, though. Dragged it back across the face of goal for Hugo Alba. Well, the only thing you would say is that whilst that's happened almost every time Brest have come forward, at least they've come forward a tad in this second half. Been a few breakaways. I just wonder whether the substitutions have played a part in that. The likes of Sambu, Gusoen, just added a little bit of impetus into the Brest attack. Pedro Rodriguez demanding the ball, gets it off of Kospot, who came on for Barca's opening scorer, Saka. Let's be careful here, Brest, as they kick back to Seydou. Well, Seydou, despite conceding 2 goals, has been Seydou Sia, that is. He's been Brest's best player in goal. Saved countless others, even for that second goal. I mean, he couldn't do anything about the first. The second makes a really good save to deny Saka, and then, well, nearly denied Juan Hernandez from point-blank range too. So nothing more the Senegalese man could do to stop this defeat for Brest, which will be their penultimate game in this competition, as they won't be going any further. For Barca, they were knocked out in the knockout stage, the first knockout stage, last year. So they'll want to go a step further this year, that's for sure. That was to Mainz. They lost 8-7 on penalties, very harsh in the end. Drew 2-2 in that game when Noah Dadovic and Daniel Rodriguez scored. Currently sit 5th in the league though, only Atalanta, Salzburg, Sporting Lisbon and Inter Milan are above them. Inter Milan actually the only team who've won 5 out of 5. Point being, Barca, as things stand, are amongst the most convincing. Switch isn't going to find Arnau Pradas. And we may have some more changes here. Let's take a look. There you have it. That's the change we predicted. Pedro Fernandez is going to be coming on for Jan Virgili Dro, boy with Filipino heritage, just 16 years old. Already scored some wonderful goals this season. Feels that Belletti is using him in spurts. He's already scored 6 goals in all competitions this season. 2 of those have come in the Youth League too. I remember in his debut on match week 1 against Monaco, he scored an absolute screamer. And also scored the 4th and definitive goal against Young Boys here on match week 2. That was a spree of 4 consecutive games he'd gone well scoring. Hasn't scored in a few weeks now, actually, as Dro. Not since Barca's 5-2 win over Real Zaragoza over a month ago now. So now will be a good time to get back on the score sheet. Interesting, he's stayed right. Arnau Pradas has stayed left. Hugo Alba, good 1-2. Xavi Espart doesn't get in. Keeps bursting forward, doesn't he, Espart? He knows it's one of those games where he can afford to do that, especially when you've got someone like Landry Fare at right centre-back who covers every blade of grass. Brilliant centre-half play, goes and covers his wing very nicely. Dro. Waiting for the ball on the right-hand side. It's Pedro Rodriguez into Fariñas now, who drives forward. Arnau Pradas comes inside. That's the thing I'll say about when he starts on the left, is you always feel he wants to play on his left foot. Good play here though, and it falls to Pedro Fernandez, who unselfishly tried to cut things back. That's a good ball though to Hugo Alba, who is denied brilliantly again from Seydou C. Would have counted, no flag. Onside was Hugo Alba, looking for his 4th goal in the competition. Eman Kospot gives it away. Lovely dinked ball in, wasn't it? I think it might have been Xavi Espart who dinked one into the box. He made the late run, Hugo Alba, so who's onside. Seydou C has been brilliant in goal though. Here comes Ibrahima Kanté though, who could be in. Claiming a penalty, not going to be given. Well, for all of Barca's dominance, say something like that is given, which it wasn't a penalty, no chance. Say it is given, I mean, we'd then be in a situation where With 10 minutes to go, it's 2-1. Hugo Alba was onside there, so that rightly would have counted had it gone in. Of course, there is no VAR, so even if he was off and the flag was down, it also would have counted. But that man there, Seydou Sy, I mean, how many times have we said his name? He's been the best player for Brest, and by a country mile too. Do nothing about the 2 goals he conceded. And he stopped absolutely everything else that's come his way. Fine performance from him. And certainly hold his head high. Didn't have it easy in the opening 2 games he played in the Youth League, as we mentioned. Conceded 4 to Sturm Graz and then 5 to Salzburg, who are also having a fine competition. One of those few sides who sit above Barca. They sit in 2nd place on 13 points. 4 wins, 1 draw for them in their 5 games. So harsh 2 openers, really, you'd have to say. But he's been brilliant since. That's another good stop there that we've just seen on replay. 2 more changes then for Brest, though. Their final 2 changes of the afternoon, I should say. Hugo Lanuzel is going to be one of them who comes on. There he is, the number 20. Being told Barjan has come off here. And Matthias Lainech is also on. Lainech scored, actually, in the Youth League this season. That's a good bit of play from Barca. I'll tell you about those changes in just a moment. Because for now, it's Pedro Rodriguez. Hugo Alba was in, he wasn't found. Arnau Pradas, good run from Walten. Corner for Barca. Touching on those changes then. Yeah. Mathis Lainech, 3 goals in all competitions. None of those have come in the Youth League, it's worth saying, but has got 3 goals in the domestic French competition for Brest. Arnau Pradas with the corner. Deep, free header, and off the crossbar. Landry Farret should have made it 3. Well, fascinating this really, isn't it? Barca have been ever so strong from set pieces and corners today. Corners really have been Brest's kryptonite, which often isn't the way in Europe. Barca often a side who dominate by playing football on the floor, certainly from open play. Don't expect them to be so dominant from corners. Le Guen. Not sure Seydou Sy would be able to stop that bulleted header from Landry Farret, although it was central. I wonder whether Seydou Sy would be able to tip it over the crossbar. Well, one back there by Eman Kospot. Landry will go back to his goalkeeper. Safe and sound, Aron Jakobishvili, untested today. Had absolutely nothing to do. Must be a strange day at the office for a goalkeeper when this happens. Barca got to be careful playing on the back here, though. Look at Landry Farret. He's one of those players that at this level dominates physically. He's only 17, but he's got that prowess about him, doesn't he? Shrugs his marker off. He's dropped. Pedro Fernandez trying to get him behind. Fair play to those Brest supporters there in that pocket. They haven't exactly had much to cheer about today, but they've come and supported their young boys. Yeah, of course, for them it would be a privilege to compete in this competition, as it is for any young player. With 5 minutes to go, this will be their penultimate game in the tournament. Throw in again. Just feels though Brest haven't been able to conjure up anything in the final third. Even string a few passes together, a move, a bit of combination. Credit to Barca out of the possession for that too. Just 4 minutes to go of normal time. Also, Barca will have their eyes on a clean sheet, won't they? Arnau Pradas, he's got his eyes on the ball into the middle. Easily gobbled up with the goalkeeper. long field switch initially was from Xavi Espart. As mentioned, next up for Barca in the league is Espanyol, who are second in the competition, Barca first. In the youth league, it's Borussia Dortmund away from home in Germany. Dortmund currently sit 12th. So you expect a more competitive game than what we've seen so far today. From what I make it, Barca will have something to play for in that too, because they'll be fighting to remain in the first 6 of the competition and in turn gain themselves a more favourable draw for the knockout phase. Well, Pedro Rodriguez had to be careful there. He's giving it away to Sambu, who in turn gives it away too. It's been that sort of day for Brest. They've just, not even a pass, as I say, they've been able to string together in the final third. Looked a really good chance to pull one back, but nothing doing. Both sides, it feels as if they're just waiting for the clock to tick away. Reminder, Leo Saka's goal in the 10th minute from a corner, and Juan Hernandez's goal in the second half, the 53rd minute too. Is there a chance of Brest here though? Landry Faré comes back and denies that ball into the middle. Good cross-field switch, wasn't it? Had to be attentive there, Landry. Has performed very well at centre-back today. Often does when he slips in there. It was Ikisuan again getting forward. Had options in the middle. One of them was Lainer, the other one was Sambu in there. Both players who've scored goals this season. The corner is deep to the back post in towards Le Guen. Foul being given to Barca though. Frustration, more of it for Brest. I think they didn't need any more. Marc Le Guen, one of the biggest presences in the team. Did have a second half chance from a set piece, I should say. He steered that wayward. That's maybe the closest Brest have come, actually. That set piece earlier in the second half. Here's that finale for Barca. Just waiting to take this one out. Some good stand-up performances today, I'd have to say. Landry Faré has been very sharp at centre-back. Of course, credit Leo Saka. Got his head on for the goal. Also got his head on the second goal too, on the initial header. I think in midfield, all three have really stood out. Here's Kanté though, bursting forward. Kanté, over. Probably a bit too easy with how he got through there, but blazed over Jakobishvili's goal. Does look a level above his teammates though. There's Kanté bursting forward again here onto his left foot. Blazed well over. Hugo Alba struggled to get involved. Juan Hernandez, of course, scored the second, has been sharp all day. Jan Virgili Tenas, you'd have to say, a start again from the right-hand side. So overall, a very good day at the office for Barca. Good afternoon's work in the Youth League. Punted clear by the left boot of Jakobishvili. And just 15 seconds. We'll see how long is added on. Let's see how long Brest have to go. Will the officials put them out of their misery? Maybe for Barca, more importantly. Oh, it's a great ball. Oh, and maybe it should have been a goal for Brest. Brilliant chance. It was Lainer who got on the end of it. Good ball in from Deville. And I thought that was goal bound. Good chance for the visiting side. That is the best they've created all game. Just was asking the question of if Barca can keep a clean sheet today. Don't think Belletti would have been happy if they didn't there. And in all, you'd have to say it's not been a 2-1 game by any stretch. I think even 2-0 was probably a little bit favourable to Brest. Fariñas, Tenas, or Pradas I should say, into Pedro Fernandez. Here is Arnau Pradas. Back to Landry Faré, who has been so good at the back today. He would have been disappointed had that one gone in. As I say, maybe should have gone in. That's a foul. Yeah, it is. Frustrations large Was a foul, though. He was late with his marker. Kim Jong-un it was. Landry. Cross spot. Turn from Landry. So much to his game. Brilliant switch too. Arnau Pradas finally for the last few seconds on the right-hand side. And that's what he can do when he's there. Arnau Pradas! Oh. Brilliantly saved again from Says. We'll see it at the near post and it trickles out for a corner. Well, I do often say it, but Arnau Pradas on the right-hand side for me is far more dangerous than he is from the left. And he showed it there. Brilliantly beats his man. And so nearly squirms it past the keeper. Touched out for a corner, which will be taken here from Pedro Fernandez. Linesman's flag is up to say the ball had already gone out of play. So a goal kick here. 40 seconds remaining. One of those games where it looks as though Barca are going to be able to keep their clean sheet. A game they haven't really been threatened in. Clear favourites right from the word go. And you have to say, right from the referee's whistle, they've barely even given up a pass. Possession stats in the 80s, you'd imagine. Extremely comfortable display at home. Jakobishvili then punts it long. A few seconds to go. Gwen wins that one. And that's all at the Estadio Johan Cruyff. Barca seal their spot in the next round of the competition in the UEFA Youth League.